Ciao, bentornati al canale del sussidiario italiano, del metodo del sussidiario italiano. Welcome back and thank you for being here. Today we have a very interesting topic, a super interesting topic, super Italian. It's the determinative articles, the way in which Italians say the, right? And well, this way Italians have a lot of articles. We have a wild bunch of interesting and kind of crazy number of articles. We have il, lo, la, I, gli, le. But the good news is that they are not difficult. They can be challenging, but they are fun to learn. And when you see how they look and how they behave and how they are gender and number sensitive, and when you consider what comes after before, then they become easy. So the idea behind this video is to show you the articles, teach you some vocabulary and articles together, and then break down article by article and show you how it works, and so that you can acquire it and learn it in the easiest and less painful way possible, and you can sound like a native speaker, which is our major goal, sounding like an Italian, using Italian articles, articoli determinativi, like an Italian person, without mistakes, without confusion, without hesitation, and above all, without stress. So let's dive into it, and let's start. Gli articoli determinativi. First of all, we look at them in the wild. In their context, we have sentences. Articles usually precedes names. Sometimes they can precede also adjective, etc. But for the most part, they precede names. So we have names, we have verbs, we have other good vocabulary. We learn some vocabulary. We see them in the wild, in their environment. And then we see who they are, what they are, how they work, where they come from. It's a spoiler, they come from Latin, but not from Latin articles, from Latin something else. And then we break down each of one, and we see everything you need to know exactly to learn them, okay? So let's read the sentence, then translate, and then find the articles. Il cane è il migliore amico dell'uomo. Gli animali sono bellissimi. Le case sono grandi. L'amore è un sentimento fortissimo. Lo zaino dello studente è pesante. L'albero è alto e maestoso. Le donne sono gentili e intelligenti. I libri sono interessanti. We have some transparent words like animals, like interesting, intelligent, etc. And we have other words that maybe we don't know. That's a good reason to learn more Italian vocabulary in context, not through lists. Ok? Il cane è il miglior amico dell'uomo. The dog is man's best friend. Gli animali sono bellissimi. Animals are super beautiful, super cute. Le case sono grandi, like grand means big. Le case, houses or homes, are big. L'amore è un sentimento fortissimo. You remember the song, That's Amore? Amore means love. Love is a very strong feeling. Lo zaino dello studente è pesante. That word is not very easy to remember at times, but zaino means backpack. Lo zaino. Repeat, lo zaino. Of the student is packed with books, so it's heavy, pesante. L'albero è alto e maestoso. The tree is tall, and that's kind of a transparent word. Majestic, maestoso, like a huge tree, good-looking tree. Le donne sono gentili e intelligenti. You can always get these adjectives, gentle, nice, and intelligent. And who is intelligent and nice? Women. The women are, right? I libri sono interessanti. Interessanti again, interesting, transparent word. Books are interesting. So where are the articles? I told you. Il, lo, la, I, gli, le. Some of them are singular, some of them are plural, some of them are feminine, some of them are masculine. We will see that in the due course. Let's find them out. Gli is one, already in the title, okay? Gli is one. Il is one article. Il, lo, la, I, gli. That's the gli, le. Il, gli, just like that. Just like that. Of course, they are coming back because they are so common. They are very common. They are a lot. Le case, le case. L'amore, that's a variation of lo, of la, actually, in this case, because it's feminine. So it's not an extra one, it's a modification, because they also modify in based on what comes after. We will see that a little bit later on. Don't worry. It can look a little bit complicated, but it's super, super easy and doable. So do not worry and don't be stressed. And just enjoy learning, enjoy the process of learning, okay? L'amore è un sentimento fortissimo. Lo zaino dello studente è pesante. Lo zaino is an article, and spoiler for the most advanced, the people that already know some Italian, in this article preposition, like the words say articled preposition, there is an article, okay? It's here. But now we are just seeing the basic articles and not the article preposition, okay? So don't worry about that. L'albero is a variation of lo. So we have la that becomes l'apostrophe, but also lo, masculine, becomes l'apostrophe. We will see when and where. Le donne, and this is for plural feminine, le donne sono gentili e interessanti. That's just a conjunction, but it's another small words. And I libri, il, lo, la, i, gli, le. Okay? Sono interessanti. There is something I usually, when I turn the page, I tell you the story. There is something I usually tell my students about small words, like articles, like some adverbs, some other words that are small, and some prepositions. Okay? They are a good indicator of your Italian level. The more, because they are kind of many, and there are many, and they sometimes are a little bit complicated and not always super easy to remember. So they are a good indicator of the state of your Italian. That means that the more you advance, the more you progress in the language, the more you become you master the small words. So the more you know how to use, the more you are at ease with the small words, the more your Italian is getting good. So that's a good sign. So remember, when you are good with the articles, you are almost halfway there. So we've already seen that the meaning in English we have the or the house, the kid, and in Italian we have a plethora. They're not an army, of course, they're not a legion, but they are those. Considering that this and this are respectively a variation of this and a variation of that, okay? And so we have il, lo for masculine singular, okay? We'll see when to use one, when to use the other. Spoiler, this is a little bit prevalent, more prevalent, okay? Plural, for masculine, we have I and gli. Maybe the only problem with this could be pronunciation. You don't have to say I, but you have to say gli, gli, gli acquedotti, gli amici, okay? So practice, 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 practice. Even in front of a mirror. La, or l'apostrophe, for feminine, and le for the plural feminine, like le donne, as we saw before. And just a little curiosity, we don't need to stay a lot of time on that, a long time on that. As I spoiled before, they come from Latin, and the determinative articles in Italian come from the adjective demonstrative in Latin. That, those, these, etc. And if you look at, of course, Latin is complex. If illum, illam, illud, and the plural, always the accusative, which is the case from which it developed in the Romance language. It developed the Italian developed, and the other Romance language developed words are usually the case that is called the accusative case. Illos, illas, illa. If you are familiar with other Romance or Neo-Latin languages, such as maybe French, Spanish, Portuguese, but especially French and Spanish, you will see that those los, las, il, la, lu, and la, and illum, il, e lu are no? Le, la, le in French, or los, las in el in Spanish. And they all come from the adjective, demonstrative adjective. I mean, this, that, those, these in Latin. And to mean those things, they pointed finger, that thing there, and then became the there. So that is where it comes from. And now we see the most important part, the part that we break down every single article in Italian, and from a wild bunch, difficult and varied, that looks at the beginning, we see that they are a ratio, they have, let's say, context that help us find out how to use it, and so it's not difficult, it's not savage, it's not complicated, it's on the contrary pretty easy, pretty straightforward, and we can, with a little bit of memorization, a little bit of practice, we can do it, we can master them. So how to use Italian determinative articles. Spoiler again, you must consider the word that follows the article, the word that comes after, and of course you also have to consider the gender and the number of the things you're talking about. So there are many things that you need to keep in mind, and that is a good thing from the language. It makes your neurons fire together and work together and make connections. So remember, gender, number, and the shape of the word, the beginning, the first consonant, the first vowel, the first two, the first syllable. Okay, so let's continue here and see that we have our champion, our il, is followed by its masculine, singular, as we saw before, and it comes before a consonant. For example, il bambino, the kid. Il rasoio, rasoio, is a razor that you use to shave your face or to shave your body hair. Bambino, the kid. Il ragazzo, the guy, the young guy. Il gatto, the cat, il gatto. Il ragazzo, il rasoio, il bambino. E l'apostrophe, it comes when you have L masculine, L apostrophe, L masculine, plus a vowel. Okay? So instead of being lo, is L apostrophe, like l'albero, l'orologio, l'uccello, l'abito, l'albero, the tree, see? Vowel, orologio, the clock or the wristwatch, orologio, l'orologio, vowel, uccello, the bird, l'uccello, l'abito, l'abito. Abito means like the dress, the clothes, okay? So it's l'apostrophe masculine. Remember the indeterminative articles? I told you, well, you never put an apostrophe on a masculine indeterminative, like un plus apostrophe, absolutely not for masculine, only for feminine, only for una. This elision means that for have an apostrophe, the elision in the indeterminative never happens for the masculine. In the determinative, it's not that case. The elisions happen both in the masculine and in the feminine. So you have to know the context, you have to know the words to know if it's masculine or feminine, if it's L apostrophe instead of lo, or if it is L apostrophe instead of la. And the context is king, the context will help you and guide you, and you will know it, okay? Lo is masculine singular like that, and is, you find it, you put it when you don't put il. And when you don't put il, when the consonant that follows, the consonant that starts the word that follows, is an S, they call it the impure S, meaning an S followed by another consonant. So you have a little consonant cluster, like SC. Scoglio, the rock in the sea, the scoglio, SC. or Z, zaino, lo zaino, X, lo xilofono, which is a tool for music, or again, little consonant clusters like PS, ps, pn, pn, pneumatico, which is from Greek, means like the wheel of the car, and gn, the sound gn. So lo zaino, lo scoglio, lo psicologo. More than the article, the challenge here is to pronounce those words correctly. Let's do it again. Lo zaino, lo scoglio, lo psicologo. Lo pneumatico is the ruota of the macchina. No? You have four. Pneuma means air in Greek. That's what called pneumatico. Okay? La is the feminine. That's very straightforward. La, feminine, plus consonant. La madre, the mother. La madre. La zia, the aunt. La gatta, the female cat, the she cat. La gatta. And variation of this one is l'apostrophe, always singular feminine, just like la, plus vowel. L'altalena, the swing, l'altalena. And l'albicocca, the apricot, the fruit, very sweet and good and yellow and orange fruit. L'albicocca, l'apostrofo albicocca, okay? Then you have gli and le, which are the plural. Masculine plural gli e feminine plural le. Gli, masculine plural, example, gli alberi. Gli alberi. You see, here you meet a vowel that meets another vowel, no problems. You go gli alberi, gli occhi, gli amici. So you don't have to avoid to meet that two vowels meet in the article and in the name at all cost. It happens, and they do it. Sometimes you can do a little elision, okay? For example, you can take off E and put an apostrophe, the apostrophe, usually always in front of an I. So gli ideali, gli incisivi, the ideals, you see, to just save space and say more with less space and time. Linguistic economy is called the principle. Gli ideali, the ideals, or gli incisivi, and starts with E. Incisivi means the incisors. They are the two teeth, the two front teeth that you have, 2 and 2. Okay? So gli alberi, gli occhi, gli amici. And then you have le, L-E, plurale femminile. Esempio, le donne, le anime, le oche. Women, the souls, that in Italian is feminine, and the geese, le oche. L'oca, e l'apostrofo oca, le oche. And what I say that is, of course, we been talking about that, something, the determinative articles in Italian, just like in English and in the other languages, they determine something that is definite, something that is individually there, or something that is already known. We already know about this pen, so I say la penna che ho in mano e che ho avuto in mano per tutto il video. Quindi la penna, il pennarello. So thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate your time. I hope you learned. I hope you didn't get bored. And above all, I hope you, I really hope you like Italian articles and Italian in general. It's super fascinating. It's a terribly good mechanism. So please subscribe to the channel. Please put a like if I deserved it in your opinion. And please share the video with somebody else who likes articles. And as usual, I say coraggio for 3. Coraggio, coraggio, coraggio.